Some big news today for the Seminoles as they make what I would say is a great move. Now, again, we talked about in last night's live, in this morning's video, I am not going to come on here for the next 9 months and just overhype everything FSU does coming off of a 2-win season. We're going to be somewhat measured with the way that we talk about what's going on at Florida State. We sold all the hype last year, and I know that people aren't necessarily in the mood for that. But today's move was really great. Let's talk about it in today's video presented by BetUS. After 31 years as a position coach at FSU, Odell Haggins' role within the FSU football staff is evolving for the 2025 season. Haggins, who has been an associate head coach and defensive tackles coach since 2014, will remain the associate head coach while taking a new role with a focus on impacting the entire program. Odell Haggins is one of the great all-time Seminoles, and I'm excited as he transitioned into this exclusive role of associate head coach. Norvell said he will continue to be an active member of our staff. Odell will play an integral part in maintaining the standard of play here at Florida State by pouring into the development and relationships with our players and the cohesiveness of our staff in this new leadership role. I think this is huge for Florida State for a couple of reasons. Number one, we have talked about defensive line recruiting, right? We've talked about what needs to happen for that unit to recruit better. And ultimately, I don't mean this in a negative way, or I don't mean this as a shot. I just don't think that Odell wants to deal with the ins and outs of what recruiting is today. I've spoken with people close with Odell. I've spoken with those. I've even spoken with a family member who has told me that, man, just not really sure that he likes yeah, he's old school, right? Like, let's just call a spade a spade. He's not this new age guy that is ready to coddle these kids and bend over backwards for them and be up playing video games with them late at night, or texting them at all hours of the day, or negotiating money and all this other crap that you've got to do with recruiting. Odell wants to coach football. He's really good at developing relationships. You talk, like, anybody that's been at Florida State likes to go out fishing with him or likes to talk ball with him, and he is so good at that. Kevin Wynn, who signed yesterday, talked about how important his relationship with Odell was. And so there's no doubt about it that he is still a very valuable asset when it comes to the relationships and the development. He's done a great job developing defensive linemen and teaching kids how to play football. And I think those are things he really wants to do. 25 years ago, that's all you had to do to recruit players. Hey, I'm good at building relationships with you, and I'm good at getting you to the next level. I'm good at coaching you. There's a lot more that goes into recruiting now, and I just don't think that that's necessarily what Odell wants to do. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to do any of that stuff either. Odell is a football coach. From the outside of his skin all the way to the very depths of his bones, he is a football coach. And I think that's what he wants to do. I don't think he wants to recruit the way that you've got to recruit, honestly, to be competitive today. And this is the perfect role for him to be able to do that. It's also a great move for Mike Norvell because though fans wanted an upgrade at the specific spot of the defensive line coach, nobody wanted to see Odell get fired, and nobody wanted to see Odell just get absolutely cast out or forgotten about or any kind of a disgraceful exit. Nobody wanted to see that. Fans wanted an upgrade. They wanted the best. Yes, absolutely. But nobody wanted to see anything negative happen to Odell. People love Odell. People love what he has done for this program. People love how much he bleeds garnet and gold, how much he is Florida State. And this was the perfect move to give Odell kind of a leadership role and let him keep his associate head coach role. The NCAA removed a lot of restrictions. You can have more coaches. I think this was the perfect move by Mike Norvell for Coach Odell Haggins. Now, what did the conversations look behind the scenes? Did Odell want to stay a deal? I don't know. I have no idea. This, to me, kind of satisfies both the need that Florida State had to upgrade that position from a recruiting perspective and the ability to keep Odell a part of the program if that's what he wanted. Let's talk a little bit more about this, but first, I wanted to give some love to our friends over at BetUS. Obviously, season didn't go the way we wanted, but you can still make a lot of money by going over to BetUS and using our code YouTube150 to get a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit. You get 125% on your next two. make sure that you're betting with BetUS. All of those bonuses up to $2,000. Championship games coming up starting tomorrow night, Friday night, and then obviously all day Saturday. Make sure that you're making some money with BetUS. I do think, again, big time move, good move for Florida State, good move for Mike Norvell. It's a delicate situation. It's not an easy situation at all, because you think that you know what's best for your program, right? If you're the head coach, and you think that you know what's best for your team to go out and win games next year, but you're also kind of saddled with a legend who has helped you pull off incredible things at Florida State. And how do you balance those two? I think my perspective on this is that it could not have been done better, right? Could not have given Odell an opportunity to still be very involved in players' lives, in development, both personally and on the field. And you also, obviously, you watched our video this morning, I hope. If not, we'll link it at the end. You also probably got the best defensive line recruiting coach that you could have gotten from Nebraska in Terrence Knighton. You really kind of satisfied both needs at once. Haggins has helped FSU post a 279, 113, and 1. That one being the Choke It Doke. Shout out. That's a 71.3% winning percentage record with 14 ACC titles, something Miami is 14 behind, and 2 national championships in his time on staff. In recognition of his many accomplishments at Florida State, he was inducted into the FSU Hall of Fame in 2018 and the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame in 2022. Odell said, "I appreciate Coach Norvell and what he has meant to this program and school that I love so much. I have learned from some of the greatest coaches in the history of college football, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to use my knowledge and experiences to support what Coach Norvell is doing. I'm excited for this change in responsibilities and looking forward to working alongside our new coaches." A lot of you will remember this. We'll wrap up with it. But a lot of you will remember this Josh Newberg tweet from 2017. This is when Coach Haggins took over as an interim coach and coached the last couple of games after Jimbo left. Newberg said, "Interim head coach Odell Haggins once slapped a Gatorade bottle out of my hand when I walked on the field in 2005, while I was interning with Scout.com. He told me, 'This is FSU. Go get a Powerade.' Nobody is more FSU than Odell." And I do think that's a fitting way to wrap it up, a fitting way to end it. Odell, I've got videos of it. I've tweeted them. Odell is more FSU than just anybody else. Go watch some of the press conferences from Alabama State after the games at the end of 2017, the games where, he took over as interim after Willie was gone. Go watch some of those press conferences. Man is literally brought to tears just being asked about what it means to coach and have an opportunity at Florida State. And this couldn't be any more perfect. He is Florida State. He will always be thought of as a legend. And the fact that he continues on with the program, the fact that Florida State has a position for him, kind of created a position, let him kind of do some different things that he excels at, is pretty exciting. And I do think he'll make an impact. I will say, to wrap it up, I don't think this is just we're giving you, like what UF did with Spurrier a couple of years. We're giving you this office over here, try not to get in the way too much. No, I think Odell really will be involved with both relationships and development all across the entire team, certainly on the defensive side and in the fronts. But I do think that Odell will still be a very integral part of this program, not just kind of hey, here's your office down the hall, old man, like UF did with Spurrier. I think he'll actually be part of what Florida State is selling, what they're trying to build. You heard Kevin Wynn yesterday talk about how his relationship with Odell meant so much. I still think he'll be a very vital part to what Norvell wants to do. And 31 years of experience as a position coach at Florida State, you certainly can use that experience to your benefit if you're Mike Norvell. So again, appreciate you guys for tuning in. A couple quick housekeeping things real quick. If you made it to the end of this video and you've gone about 10 minutes, number one, appreciate BetUS again for their support. Number two, I'm going to link a channel at the end of this video that is a brand new SEC channel that I'm going to be arguing with Allie Peak from A Peak Inside Gators Football on. We're almost up to 200 subscribers on that. So if you appreciate the content, if you made it to the end here and you just want to support over there, It's a peek inside the SEC. I am very anti-SEC. She's very pro. So we'll have a lot of arguments. We'll have a lot of fights. You guys will enjoy that a ton as I try and put her in her place on that. And then lastly, if you missed the Terrence Knighton video, I'll also link that at the end. You can click on the channel to subscribe, the video to watch our update on Knighton. And we appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in. Go Noles.